Hey guys, HuShang here. Welcome to another Starcraft 2 Zerg gameplay. In this video, we're playing against a pretty strong Protest player around the Master 2 level. His name is Lullaby, and I think he's rated around 4,700. So we're playing him. This is a pretty weak game by me, mechanically, but there are a couple of nice situations that happen that I think are pretty good instruction wise, so we're gonna go through it anyways. Somehow I made a third overlord, which is like the dumbest thing ever. Like, I'm a bronze player. So we got to deal with that all game, which was a little bit annoying, but I do like this game because it showcases one of the Voidray openings, and I've been getting a lot of questions about how to deal with Voidray openings, especially the double Stargate one, or even just like one Stargate into some sort of tech. And so this is a nice game that we can kind of look at the timings, show you how to play safe against that. And yeah, it's got a lot of instructional value. Now, before we get too deep into this game, I should probably mention my coaching. So if you guys are interested in getting some additional help outside of these YouTube videos, then you can check out my website at HuShangCoaching.com. And we also have a new feature, YouTube memberships. If you want to check that out, we're doing practices every Saturday for an hour right now. I'm thinking of bringing it up to 2 hours a week if we can get a couple more members. So lots of extra coaching there. And of course, if you join as a YouTube member, you're also going to get access to all of my coaching bots, which is like 15 hours of coaching, I think, at this point. So pretty nice deal there. All right, so back to this game. So we've got our first overlord coming in. And normally what you want to be doing here is just making sure that you can get their scouting information. So we do see that the cyber is finishing up. And because of this, I'm going to send my overlord into the main base. Now, normally what I do is I delay that cyber a little bit and then send it into the main only after I've seen that they haven't placed their tech at the natural. Now, for some reason, this guy's getting his Stargate like 15 seconds late. So he's able to put that down without me being able to see it, which I guess is a nice bonus for him. So I'm thinking, okay, it's probably in the main, right? Let's check over here. We're looking for that secondary pylon. We do see the pylon, but there's no tech. So that's pretty strange. So we're going to go back to the natural, which is where the tech probably is at this point. And he went Stalker to try to deny it. So when I come back here, I wasn't sure if I was going to get the tech scout. Fortunately, you can always just send your lings across as well, and then just do some blind spore crawlers. So it's not like the biggest deal, but of course it's nice to see the Stargate. And we do see it right there. In a normal game, I'd get my spore crawlers right now at 3:30, but the thing is, I scouted that Stargate just finishing at 3:30 or 3:20 or so, which means his Stargate was quite late, which means he's not going to be able to get his Oracle here at a normal time. And in fact, he's actually going Voidray instead of Oracle, so even later we could delay these spore crawlers if we knew it was Voidray. So instead of like 3:30, I'm getting them at maybe 3:50. And then, since we know it's Stargate, we don't have to be too worried about any sort of early rushes. If they went for some sort of Adept play, then we'll have the Queens, plus we'll have some Zerglings, and he's not going to be able to afford Glaives as quickly as he would if he went Twilight first. So no need for like a super fast Roach Warren or anything. Right here you can see I'm just checking to see when he gets his expansion. If he gets his expansion pretty early at like 4 minutes, then we know that he's being fairly greedy. He probably hasn't dropped another tech structure behind that. But in this case, we see that he has no expansion. So because he has no expansion, we know that he's going for some sort of tech in addition to the first Stargate. So that could be a second Stargate, which is why I'm starting to add some more Queens here. And that could be a Twilight Council like he's doing here. It could also be some other sorts of techs, but I think these are the two most common ones for sure. Twilight or second Stargate. So because of that, I'm adding my layer, I'm adding my roach warren, and I'm keeping my queens at the front here. We still have to confirm which tech it is, so we're not totally convinced we need to make, you know, a ton of stuff, but we're just trying to play extra safe here. So you can see me adding some spore crawlers in the main. We did see a second Voidray there, so that's why I'm doing that, thinking, okay, maybe it's the double Stargate. Now here we're checking again with our lings. Did he expand yet, or is he doing some sort of mass gateway all in maybe? Those lings are just chilling. I was a little preoccupied, I guess, getting these queens up. I'm making 8 safety roaches as well. Okay, and he still didn't expand. So now we know he's playing some sort of attack here. He's still making Voidrays, we can see. So I bring the queens up here. He actually has some Adepts, though, I didn't see until about now. So we do lose a couple queens there, which is super unfortunate. We actually had the roaches too, so we could have just put those in front. But now that we have them, he is forced away. And I was planning on going into Muta if he was playing double Stargate, just to try that out. But since he's going for Adepts, I'm going to change my plan here. It might still be strong, actually. But I decided to cancel that and go for a Hydra instead. Now from here, he could be massing more Adepts, or he could be, you know, making more Voidrays, or he could be expanding. So I really need to do a follow-up scout. So I come in here, I see a bunch of Adepts. I see the third base, obviously. And so now we know that we can start droning. So he circled around here with his Voidrays into my third base, which is nice for me because now I know that he can't see my roaches. So as soon as he did that, I sent my roaches out. Those 2 spore crawlers are kind of holding him back a little bit. He probably could have broke those, but he would have lost a lot of HP, and my queens would be there pretty soon anyways. So he backs up. And here we're putting on a ton of pressure, so he actually has to recall. If he doesn't recall here, then we're going to deny that third base, and he's going to be in a lot of trouble. But now that he recalled the Voidrays, I'll just pull those back. And lately I've been experimenting with some more heavy pressure on 3 base. So in this game, I'm going to be droning up to about 66 roughly, and we're going to be going for some big Hydra Queen push. I wouldn't normally recommend this either. It's kind of, I mean, it's not supposed to work if you're playing against a really strong Protoss, because they can scout the Driven 4th and just play extra safe. But yeah, it's kind of a fun way to play. It's pretty strong as well. Like, it's not super easy for Protoss to hold, so they do have to make a lot of right calls. Roach is coming in here again since the Voidrays moved out. Here, I think I make a little bit of a mistake here, to be honest. I thought we'd be able to kill quite a few probes and units here, but I'm not sure we got as much as I thought we would get. So we just end up trading out these roaches. In retrospect, it was probably better to keep those alive and use them for the next push. But it was pretty tempting. It did look pretty good. There was only like 3 zealots at first. So we're starting that queen push. I did see the carriers. So we do know that we need to do something pretty big here since we didn't drone up. Obviously that was the plan all along though, regardless of what he did. If you want to play late game against carriers, then you should have taken your 4th much, much faster and also droned up quite a bit more before making this many units. Definitely one of the biggest mistakes you can make is, you know, making this many Hydras just to feel safe and then droning up because then you're just way behind in economy. So you're going to be very careful that you don't play middle of the road like that. I could run in here with the Hydras. I think it's a bit easier though if you run in with the queens first, and then you can transfuse the queens. They're easier to transfuse without dying because they have more health. So A move everything here, try to get them synced up, and then I'm grabbing my queens and just spamming the transfuse. Not fast enough there on the first queen, but tanking quite a bit of health for sure. And now the carriers are running out of interceptors. We're just dealing with the zealots and the Voidrays now. That's another common mistake, is trying to target Protoss units in here at first. First you want to kill the interceptors, then you want to target. You can see now he's trying to run, he doesn't have any interceptors left, and we can target. But watch again, as these other units come in, you see that I'm not targeting again, I'm just A-moving here. And I'm thinking about what I can micro, but there's really nothing you can do here, so it's very important that you don't try to do anything. Otherwise you limit your DPS. So yeah, nice little way you can play against Voidray openers if you're struggling. And hopefully it helped out with the third base timing, making sure you know when to make units, when to be droning, and how to stay safe. So yeah, thanks for watching guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you in the next one.